Hi, this is Corwyn.
And I'm James.
And welcome to This Movie's Gay. Why'd you say it at the same time? This Movie's Gay. Welcome to This Movie's Gay. James always gives me gruff about messing up the intro because I'm always like, hi, guys.
No,
but
the main thing about messing up intros is either you will say, and this is This Movie's Gay,
yeah.
Or when I say it, you will then say it with me.
I haven't said it with you in forever.
Well, yeah, because I edit that one out.
It's been forever.
Hey.
And then you just tried to say it at the same time.
We've done 27 of these. Could it really be forever? People are going to start thinking we purposefully mess up this
I definitely do sometimes.
Wait, you purposefully mess it up to be able to have this cheeky banter up front?
No, but just to mess it up. Because
AF. Can I do a follow-up from last week?
Yeah.
I'll make it quick. Okay. So, of course, I did some math. We were saying from last week's movie, Pride, there was only one African or Black British person. That is also the term they use. At least that's what Wikipedia says. Black British. That's instead of African American, they say Black British.
Okay.
It's cheeky over the pond. And this, I did math. I did research to figure out the population of Black British during the 85 era, and then how many people were at the Pride Parade, and here is what I found out. In 81, this was the only census that I saw around this time, and then there was also legislative put in during that time to try to stop immigration from Africa, so it should remain fairly the same. In 81, the population of Black British was 1.2% of all of the United Kingdom. So if we think of 1 in 5 people are gay, that would be 0.024% would be Black British. Then in 85, the parade had around 10,000 attendants, meaning 240 would statistically be Black. But of course, like this is not correct. This is just math.
Yeah, you're just taking percentages.
Some could be straight people coming in there. However, it could even be less because, like our culture, I know this from the Rewind that I produce. It's a podcast. It is harder in the African American community to come out as gay than it is in the white community. So it could be less, but you're making a movie in God dang 2000 whatever it came out. You should have had more representation. So guess what? Pride. We should come up we're calling you out. We should come up with like a thing. Get represented. Ooh, that's what you don't get the stamp of representation. Oh my God.
I mean, and you're also just looking specifically at the Black British population. You're not looking at other people of color that could have been present. So there's a lot of different cultures present in the United Kingdom, so it's missing all of those as well.
Based off from 1.2%.
I mean, we're missing a lot of people.
United Kingdom's real white. That's what I'm saying, guys.
So, yeah, great.
But yes,
great follow up.
I did math,
and more to say. Please put more representation in your movies. We love that you've got queer representation, but there are also queer people of color that should be represented as well, especially in something historical like that. But we can also acknowledge that the UK has a tendency for movies in general to not acknowledge that people of color exist in the UK.
Also,
but they do. And they have.
I did read in further. I'm glad you brought this up. I read that Stonewall was in the UK, right?
No. That was the United States.
Yes,
that was New York.
But still, the Stonewall movie, I think they put one out, or documentaries,
yes.
they whitewashed those as well.
Yeah, they did. They didn't even include Marsha Johnson. And
I read that as well. Even in the UK, it gets whitewashed. So, but I tried to look further into it, and I didn't see anyone of note, but I remember you saying that a lot of this was just like there weren't specific names of a lot of the people who were in that.
Yeah, the little documentary that Pride was based off of, or Pride got its information from to then create a story around that happenstance, was a documentary that didn't have names attached to it or anything. They had like maybe 1 or 2 names that they were able to get from that short
and it was
little
probably
sort of
the
documentary thing.
2 people that we got like hey, and this is what happened after the movie ends.
Well, what they did is they got the name from the person that, made the little short film thing or whatever, and then they got Jonathan, his name from that. And then from Jonathan, they got other people, including the guy including all the people that are like, this person later did this, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. So, and the woman that went to Parliament as well.
Okay.
All of that came from finding someone, Jonathan, I think, and then going from there.
Corwyn, this is what I'm going to do. Last thing. I'm going to make either I'll get a real stamp, but I think I can do it with graphic design. Make like it says represented, and then we'll put a stamp on movie covers of the movies we do that have representation. Represented, and that's the golden seal of approval. Except it'll probably be like red ink, not gold.
All right. Now that we've spent that time going over that, we actually
it's only
have
7 minutes. We're good.
So the movie this week, we did a movie that's very special to me because my birthday is actually this.
I wanted
Saturday.
to sing a happy birthday royalty-free song for you.
It's it'll be 2 days before this will be released, and then 2 days later will be my birthday. So you can wish me happy late birthday if you'd like.
Wait, I thought your birthday's...
It's Saturday, the 25th, May 25th.
Yeah, but we release on Monday.
So
you said
2 days after Monday.
After.
Yeah, 2 days after Monday.
Would be
or 2
a
days
Wednesday.
before Monday.
Oh, okay. Oh, thank
2 days. 2 days after my birthday will be Monday.
Okay.
So, yeah.
I was like, Corwyn, this doesn't make sense.
I'm doing the math.
Are we in Twilight Zone?
Oh my God.
Our days math. Let us know, guys.
There's a scale. There's either Newton or someone that can't do any math. I don't know a good example for that. But we did the movie Love, Simon. It's a very special movie to me. I've seen it in theater. I saw it in theaters 3 or 4 times. I've seen it many times since then. I own the movie on Amazon. It's a beautiful thing. And today with us, we have a special guest, a dear, dear friend of mine.
Hey there.
And your name
My name is Nina.
Amazing. And we're going to do what we normally do with guests, but you're a little more prepared because you watched the movie with me the first time I saw this movie.
Yeah.
You are going to give us a quick synopsis of the movie. Yeah, you.
Okay.
Oh, God.
I would also like to say that Nina also brought the book this is based off from.
Nina also brought the book.
I've read it once, but then also went to the library yesterday and got it and read through it over the last 24 hours so that I could prepare.
Can you tell us the title of that book?
Yes. So the book is called Simon versus the Homo sapiens Agenda.
Simon versus the Homo sapiens Agenda.
Yeah, but also
that
kind
could
of
be a sci-fi movie too.
Oh yeah.
Simon versus the humans. Yes.
Is pretty much what it is.
Yeah.
But the synopsis. Okay. So 17-year-old Simon Spear is living with his family very normally, whatever, going to high school very normally. And then, but he has this huge secret that he's living with, and it's kind of weighing on him as it does. And he kind of goes through the motions, finds out that there's a kid at school who's gay, and he relates to that. And so he sends an email very courageously, reaching out to him, kind of like, hey, what's up? And they kind of have an email correspondence. And so that's kind of what this movie is about, and trying to figure out who this gay kid at school is, who, he's trying to
they don't know
out.
Because it's the email comes from this blog where this anonymous person with the email posts that they have this huge secret and blah, 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 and they're gay. And Simon takes the email from the blog post and emails that immediately and is like, hello. I also have a huge ass secret.
Creek's secret is clearly on Tumblr, and this
Definitely.
entire blog violates their terms and conditions. You cannot have this.
Well, it happened.
Throw it out. Tumblr. Tumblr doesn't know what's going on.
I mean, Tumblr also has an issue even
everything.
adhering to their policy of no nudity unless it's artistic and stuff like that. Like they can't run their blogs anyway.
Nicole and I thought this one blog called Your Dick Looks Great in Those Heels. It's just dudes putting their penises in high heel shoes.
That's
and
weird.
it's hilarious because of the captions they put on it. And I was like, oh, you want to know what sucks about this going away is that, like all nudity, is that this blog's not going to be on there. I guess it's artistic because it's still
artistic.
there. It's amazing, guys.
It's an
Check
art
it out.
project.
I'll get right on that.
Not at work. Yeah, so that's a pretty good, succinct, nice
short little guy, yeah.
synopsis. Yeah, good job.
Thank you.
Very proud of you. Usually we like put people on the spot and do it, and they're like ah.
And then they continue to just go scene by scene, and I'm like, guys,
Yeah.
I'm thinking
like,
as a
I said,
producer right now.
quick synopsis. So yeah, that was really good. So this movie is, I love it. It's actually, so it's one of the first books that I read. That was one of those coming of age books. That was also queer.
I'm gonna cut that
So-
out. So it just says it was one of the first books I read, and it's like, Corwyn, this came out recently.
I don't read. How dare you?
That shouldn't be a point of pride.
So and anyone that knows me knows that I read
Yes.
like 300 books a year.
I was gonna say.
too many. So yeah, it's one of the first queer coming of age books that I read. It really stuck with me. I tried to get a lot of people into it. I don't know if anyone read it. I know Nina did. I don't know if I told Nina to read it. I don't know. I know that I always put it on my list of things to read when people ask for things to read. So after I read that, then eventually there was this trailer for Love, Simon, and we actually saw the movie poster when we went and saw Black Panther in theaters. And since I saw that, I was like, oh my God, they're doing a movie about it? And had to look it up and all of that. And I made Nina go with me to see that movie at 10 a.m.
Absolutely.
Because I had to work that day. So I went in and saw that movie and walked to work. It was beautiful, wonderful day. And then I proceeded to see it 2 more times in the theater.
Yeah.
I've
And
only
I
seen
bought
Rocky
them
Horror
all.
that many times in a theater.
I was like, I want this movie to do super well. I want mainstream media to see that this movie is profitable in a way that they can make more stories like this. Because, you know, once we're talking about making movies in Hollywood and stuff like that, the bottom line is how much money is it going to make? So something like this, I'm like, let me throw my money down as much as I can.
That's
Yeah.
why I keep renting Gay Bed and Breakfast of Terror.
Oh my God. And the great thing about this movie in theaters as well is a lot of LGBT actors and people, famous people, were actually renting out theaters to see this movie. They're renting out theaters and allowing people to go in that, you know, necessarily wouldn't have the money for it to go and see it. I think Jennifer Garner did.
Yeah, I think
I
Neil
know
Patrick
Neil Patrick
Harris,
Harris did. And probably way more people that I just didn't Google right before this. So yeah, it's one of those things. It's like, this is a beautiful movie to watch, and I know that some people do have issues with it. I can't think of their issues off the top of my head.
We know.
Besides James's issues of it, but like actual issues, a lot of them. I know a lot of people are like, oh well, it's just like, you know, a little cutesy movie. It's not significant, but I find a lot of significance in it.
Yeah.
So that's
and it
why
is
I
still
think
cutesy. It's
Yeah,
cutesy
I'm like-
and
and-
significant. So
And I don't need all of my, you know, heartfelt, beautiful gay movies to have one of the love interests die and like,
Right.
you know, all this other stuff. I would love a nice rom-com, and
Yeah.
that's what this does.
yeah,
So,
agreed.
yeah, okay. James, let's get started with your issues because I have
Yeah.
a lot of notes.
All right.
We just want to know.
We want to know.
This is an issue I have with the genre.
Okay.
Because Nicole watches a lot of them, and it's
Okay.
specifically coming of age movies where the Smiths will be in the soundtrack. Dialogue like, we're best friends, you know what we do. We drink too much iced coffee. We watch really bad 90s movies, and we gorge on carbs. I don't want it. Just immediately I was like, oh, fuck, I'm going to hate this movie. But no, I loved it. But I audibly was writing down something, and I was like, ugh. And I had another thing. If someone masturbates into a pool, you don't need to drown it.
Drain it.
Oh, yes.
You're going to
drain
drown
it.
the pool. Yes.
No, the chlorine is drowning the spermies. That's what I'm trying to say. Chlorine will sterilize anything. And I believe that if someone, unless it's diarrhea, if someone poops into a pool, draining it is only for show. You could scoop that out and the chlorine will will do the trick. There was a frog in our pool, and when we went to scoop it out, it just dissolved. If chlorine is going to completely sterilize to the point of nothingness,
I think your pool had too much chlorine in it. I just want to say that, first of all.
I would also like to say this. It was as we were like opening it up for the summer.
So you definitely, it had too much chlorine in it. It was just like loaded with chlorine.
Oh, no. It was probably there for a really long time.
Oh, okay.
It could have also just been the water that did it and it died there. But chlorine will evaporate a frog. It's poopies and semen's gonna be fine in there, guys.
I mean, I think, the janitor's like, I'm gonna take care of this.
Maybe they had to drain it anyway for another reason.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, I think the reason is that was happening. So the school is like, a pool, that's no longer gonna be happening. So they drained the pool so that the students couldn't use it anymore.
Oh,
I was gonna say maybe showing a lesson. Yeah, like showing
maybe
them a
drain
lesson.
it. Start skateboarding in it.
Exactly. Yep, that's exactly what happened at school.
Because riding pool is getting super popular these days. Because you can do street and vert stuff in it.
Oh my God. He's a nerd
Cool.
for skateboarding.
I've been really getting into skate videos again.
What were your other issues?
Yeah.
It looks like you have some.
Those were my two major issues. Okay. And the one right off the, like I said it many times, Martin should have just gotten punched in the face. He had there also shouldn't have been that. I know, like, no one gave him the satisfaction when he came up at the end and said, I'm the gay one. And it's like, no, you're not. And he's like, oh, I just, this was feeling cringy. And it's like, this is your fault, dude. Go hop on a carnival ride that breaks down and ends up with you getting maimed. Like that one that happened at Michigan's Adventure.
Oh my God.
Boy.
Tragedy here.
And then Jennifer Garner as a fun mom does never work with me, which she was only for like her first 4 lines was trying to seem like a quick and quirky mom. But she was reading her lines like she was in Gilmore Girls, but did not understand you were supposed to be quirky. That's what was coming across when she was talking. But then,
I'm gonna disagree with you there.
I am
but after
flabbergasted. I love her.
But after those 4 lines, she was perfect.
No, even those, like, the beginning lines, I loved her. Where he was like, oh, don't tell me that I need to eat breakfast or whatever. And she's like, actually, I was going to say your LDL cholesterol.
Right.
And blah,
Yes,
blah, blah.
that's a Gilmore Girls line with no quirk.
I loved how she did that. And it set off the bat. It put the precedent that her character is an intelligent person.
Yeah.
She's someone who might be in the health field. And we find out later she is. She's a psychiatrist. And
which
so
after I learned that, I enjoy when she was going at things as like, hey mom, we're not one of your patients. That I enjoyed. But right off the bat, no.
See, I think that right off the bat, that set the precedent for her character, what she was going to be. So that's why I enjoyed it. I didn't take any offense to it.
Yeah.
I think she played it very well. I mean, I love her. And one of the best moments in the actual movie is her telling Simon that he can excel now. That was everywhere after this movie
when she
started.
does, heartfelt dramatic stuff, she's fantastic. She just seems like a fun sucker to me. Like in real life,
I think that's your personal holdup, James.
Yeah.
I think that's just on you. I don't think that's anyone else.
I also do hear bad things about her because, like, well, not bad things, but like Kevin Smith is like, yeah, she doesn't like me. She thinks I'm not funny, and she doesn't let me hang out with Ben Affleck anymore, pretty much. And it's like, oh man, that sucks.
So
she seems like a fun sucker.
She's probably like Kevin Smith.
Right.
Like, I mean,
no one can see you shake your head, Corwyn.
I'm shaking my head. I mean, I can definitely, I wouldn't blame her for that, honestly.
Yeah, the other thing is, like, I don't really know who she is in real life, but based on this movie, I know I want her to be my mom. I love how, like, open she is and intelligent, and I don't know, she stands up for her kids, and she's like, no,
all of those. Yeah. But you did not say, I love how fun she is. But when she was trying to be fun, no, except when she was trying to, like, dissect them. But maybe that wasn't fun in her mind. It's, fun in other people's minds.
I mean, I don't like. I also don't know where you're trying to say where you're saying that she was like trying to be a fun mom.
And those first 4 lines, that first scene, breakfast. It seemed like she was trying to be a fun mom.
I didn't even
and
see
You know
like
what? That
that.
actually also
Yeah.
might be coming from like Simon when he's trying to like tell you about his family, and
Okay.
definitely coming from that
Yeah.
angle of like, my mom, we're cool. She's just like
She was the high school
Yeah.
valedictorian, and my dad was the quarterback.
player, yeah.
And they got married, and no, they didn't.
did he say that was like a
Fizzle
typical
out.
relationship?
No, he
Okay.
he was saying that like it was a typical thing where people are like, oh, they peaked in high school, but
Right.
he's like, no, they didn't peak in high school.
It's just been them. This is what they are.
They're great. They're great together.
Okay, because I was like, wait, dude, normally the valedictorian and the football quarterback?
Well, it's like saying like the popular people. I think it was trying to say
Right.
she was popular. So
Okay.
it's like, the TV tropes. James is just looking at me with a blank look. Like I don't think he watches TV.
Oh no, I just had a mind blank. Well, because I was thinking of a very sad thing and then
Oh my God.
relating to the valedictorian of my high school.
All right, were those all your notes?
Well, no, I have more notes,
qualms?
but Nazis. I've never seen Cabaret. What is this? Are there Nazis in Cabaret? And do they make out, or was that just in this?
That was just the students.
Those
for
are
them
the
making out.
students, yeah.
Yeah.
Who were just not paying attention to anything. Also, you see them in the beginning when we're like introduced to the high school and they're making out on the lawn.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
So like
they're
they're
literally
just like,
making out every scene that you see
Yeah.
them.
Absolutely.
Because I was
Yeah.
like, what is Cabaret if this is what it is?
Also,
and
I
how
feel
is
like-
it popular?
I feel like a really terrible theater person. I work in theater and I'm like,
I also like I
don't
know
Cabaret.
I know
very well.
of Cabaret, and I know some
pretty
of the
sure there's
songs.
Nazis.
Yeah, I think there are.
There's gotta be.
It is a.
Yeah.
I mean, it does take place in a German nightclub
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I'm also a terrible theater person in that. I didn't get into musical theater until college,
Yeah.
so I know nothing for that.
But yes, there are Nazis.
okay.
But yes.
What else do I have? We debated throwing parties in high school on, I don't think a party with that many teens clearly drinking out in the open in a suburban setting.
None of them were. So that's why I mentioned in the party scene, all of them out in the open is like in their backyard, but it looks like a big enclosed backyard. That's
But you
like
would-
a mansion.
You
that
would
they're
still
at.
hear music.
Not if it's like big and enclosed like that. But we also didn't hear any music in the backyard.
I think the music that we were hearing to set the mood of like the playing, I
Beer
think that
pong?
was intended to be the music because people are dancing in the background.
Well, there's like people right by the pool dancing, but that's it. Like the people in the background, way back there, they're just like sitting and talking.
Yeah, they're wallflowers.
Yeah,
Like
but
that
no,
coming
not
of
even the ones
age
that are like
movie.
wallflowers. It's like literally just those people by the pool that are dancing.
I was also
And
going to say those
whenever-
neighbors might be like cool with it. They might be
Yeah.
like,
Okay.
oh,
or
this
they might
is
not be there.
Bram
Yeah.
and those,
But then
kids.
Corwyn said a very surprising thing that Corwyn threw parties
I
in
didn't
high school.
throw parties.
Okay. How you
I
you
said
worded
I've
that?
been to parties like that where there were no issues with the neighbors.
Oh, I thought you said I've had parties like that.
no,
Okay.
no, I didn't throw parties.
I would never throw a party because my friends were anxious in my house because it was so neat.
Oh, boy.
I had a friend who was like, "Oh yeah, I stopped going over to your house because I felt like I couldn't even walk."
I moved too much and we were too poor to throw parties.
Hey man, all you need is some red Solo cups and a bottle of Jaeger. You got a party on your hand, a big assin' party house.
I was going to say I had that and some like deck of cards and we got crazy. And I feel like the neighbors didn't care. And we were out on the porch. We threw
Yeah.
chairs through the wood. Like we broke the porch with chairs and nobody ever called the cops
Someone
on us.
should have called the cops on that.
Scot free.
There were parties at my like aunts and uncles that I went to where there were not a lot of adult supervision. It's like literally just them and then a bunch of teenagers.
Yeah.
But their house is in the middle of nowhere.
I was
so
gonna
there's
say.
not a lot. Yeah. I'm like,
Yeah,
I
in
grew up in the
Minnesota.
country.
Yeah,
so-
in Minnesota we were in like the forest, in the middle of the
Yeah.
forest with like a bag of wine and a bonfire going.
Yeah,
Cool.
they have like they have like Halloween parties and they've got like a trail through the woods behind their house. So like we would be set up in the woods just like,
Yeah.
doing scary shit.
doing your thing.
Yeah, that's so. Growing up in the middle of nowhere is a different theme for that. You can have big parties and no one cares.
Big ass and party house.
Yeah. Anything else?
Let me check. Yeah, Corwyn's is like, James, just get done with your fucking notes so we can really talk. They did say, hey, at my other school when someone called someone gay,
That would be settled with a knife fight.
Yes, and it should be settled with a knife fight, aka an ambush knife fight. Yeah, someone calls you gay, guess what? And being mean about it, go up to them when they're not looking and just stab them. I mean, don't stab someone. I'm not really telling people to do this, but stab them in the side and flee away.
James wants people to shank people.
Here's the thing:
no,
is
just
as much as you
punch them in
want
the
to,
face.
too. It's you can't fight fire with fire. You gotta you try and have a peaceful.
For the most part,
Or-
there are,
I mean,
there
of
are
course.
lines.
Hit
They're
them with
definitely.
a skateboard deck, which is, I think, even worse than a. Especially if it's trucks down. Please never hit anyone with a skateboard deck. Trucks down.
All right.
But then that gay kid then is then the bully with the knife or the skateboard trucks down. It's just that doesn't represent very good things.
No, that's bad talk, guys. If someone's being mean to you, we've seen it. Laws aren't working. Punch someone in the face. Punch a bigot in the face.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Fine.
Yeah.
Do it.
Also, remember, as I said last time, if I entice a riot, clearly it was going to happen before. I can't entice anything.
Great. Loved it.
Let me.
I'm pushing you through notes because I have 3 pages.
Corwyn, I guess, wants to yell at tweens. Doesn't care what the situation is.
Oh my god. He just got
what?
outed. So
She was 12.
So what happens is he gets outed. He just finds out, is literally on his computer, just hangs out with his friend, his best friend, who he's known for 13 years, and just he cannot function. He cannot think. He can't breathe. He's trying to figure out what to do, what's happening, because he's about to lose not only his anonymity, whatever.
Anonymity.
Anonymity.
That one. We all said it 3 different ways, but Nina's is correct.
His anonymous nature in being in high school, he's outed publicly. So there's that trauma of that when he wasn't ready yet. He doesn't know what's going to happen. He's seen people bully the other guy, Ethan.
Yep.
In high school.
Jinx.
So he doesn't know what's going to happen there. He is afraid of losing Blue because of the emails and stuff. And he knows Blue doesn't want to tell him who he is. So he's afraid that, if he gets outed and he becomes this public target, that Blue is not going to own up to who he is and is just going to ghost him.
Yeah.
So he's going through all of that. And at that same moment, his little sister comes in, who he has established that she is annoying sometimes. We can find our siblings annoying, but still
But he
love
likes
them.
yes.
Yeah. So that happened. And then his little sister comes in and is like, oh, I told them to got them to take it down. They're going to take it down. And he's like, why does that matter? That it's already out there. It has already happened. The damage has been done. So her solution, while it's great, she's trying to help him. It's not something that he can process at the moment. It's not something that he can deal with because that's just such a traumatizing thing.
And I think in that
happen.
moment too, he's also receiving text messages from his friends, and
all
he's
his
just
friends,
like
everyone is trying to
horrified,
talk
having
to
a
him.
panic
Yeah.
attack. Like, what the hell is happening?
Straight up panic
Yell
attack.
at the friends. Don't yell at the tween.
It's a sister though. I yell at my sister. Like,
we yell at
whatever.
our siblings.
It happens.
And like,
oh God, I wish I could yell at my brother. Haven't talked to him in 5 years.
I haven't talked to my little
Go ahead and
sibling
yell at 'em
in
then.
years, but
Wait,
I
for
definitely yelled
real?
at them then. Yeah.
How have we not?
I haven't talked to my sibling in years, actually, because my younger sibling tried to publicly out me.
Oh,
Like, literally did that.
I have no idea why my brother stopped talking to me.
After already having conversations with like my parents, who are very conservative and stuff, my mom specifically, about where I was romantically and sexually and all that stuff, and like sort of establishing this place where, if I am in a romantic relationship, I will let her know. But until then, I'm kind of doing my own thing. So it was just kind of in that situation. My younger sibling flunked out of college, and my mom and I talked about it at one point, and I knew that my sibling made multiple Fs, like a lot. She they straight up failed.
How many siblings do you have?
I have an older brother and a younger sibling.
Okay.
I will tell you why I'm referring to them as younger siblings soon. But basically, my younger sibling flunked out of college. My younger sibling came out as a lesbian in high school, knew how that affected their relationship with my mom and my stepdad and everything. So
Wait, you have your parents are divorced? I feel like I don't know
my parents
you.
are divorced. So my younger sibling knew the trauma of that, knew how that would affect them and all of that. But they still took that opportunity. The reason they did it is because they flunked out of college or whatever. I talked to my mom at one point whenever they were, doing all that. And my mom was like, oh, your younger sibling flunked out of college. And I was like, yeah, they did. And they're like, or did they drop out? And I was like, no, they failed a class and quit after that. My younger sibling then tried to go tell my mom that they didn't flunk out of college and just quit. And my mom was like, stop lying to me. I know. I already know that you flunked out. And my sibling was like, well, I'm not even the biggest liar in the family. Corwyn is. And my mom was like, what are you talking about? And she was like, Corwyn's gay, Mom. Like that. And my mom, it was after I moved to Chicago, my mom immediately called me sobbing on the phone. That is what my younger sibling did. That's why I don't speak to them. I'm calling them my younger sibling now because since then, apparently they have come out as trans.
Okay.
And
I thought you were going to say they've come out as older than me.
No. They've come out as trans, so they say that they are, I don't know if they use they or he pronouns.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I've spoken to them briefly once on my birthday, either last year, I think the year before last. They called me at like 2 a.m. I didn't know who it was. I answered the phone and they were like, hi, it's your sister or your brother. I don't know if you heard. I just wanted to say happy birthday. I don't know why you don't talk to me anymore. All this stuff. And I'm like, I don't talk to you because you're selfish and I don't need that in my life. Bye. And then they sent me 10 screenshots worth of text about how not selfish they are. Mind you, that's on my birthday. So
wait, they sent you screenshots of text?
No,
to
they
prove?
sent me texts, and then I went to take screenshots of them to send to my best
10
friend.
Okay, that
and it
makes
was
sense.
10 screenshots, and I have a big phone. That's a big ass screen.
I thought
that
they
was
were
a lot of
saying,
fucking words.
Like here in other conversations, it's clear that I'm
No.
not selfish.
No, they sent me paragraphs. They sent me an essay about how not selfish they are on my birthday. I'm like, well, fuck off. So I haven't spoken to them since then.
My sister did something like that, but in a very smaller sense. She got caught smoking weed, and then to deflect some of the attention, she said that I've smoked weed before, even though I had quit. And then we all got grounded for like a year.
Yeah, but it's like, how can you come out and then do something like that
No,
to someone
it's super
else?
shitty. Yeah.
Yeah, it's the shittiest thing that probably has been done to me in a minute. Not ever in my life. There's definitely been more shitty things, but definitely shitty enough that I'm like, I'm not speaking to them anymore. And it's made me happier not to speak to them anymore. So maybe they'll hear this and finally get an explanation for why I don't speak to them, since they're so stuck up their own ass that they don't realize what they've done.
Yeah, and please start listening. We need the listeners. But your guys' notes. I'm done.
Yeah, great traumatic story. But that ties into the thing that happened with Simon in the movie.
That's a fantastic story. Like I'm getting to know you.
I know, that's the point of this, James.
Getting to know about you.
The world's getting to know me. So, love that song, Nina.
See, I'm a little bit of a theater kid, yeah.
Love you so much. So, yeah, Simon, I definitely, and that's another reason that this movie resonates with me so much, is because a lot of the times that in my life that people have found out that I'm queer have been not of my choosing. So that's why I'm very reserved in telling people sometimes, because a lot of it has been, I have been outed. And that's why I resonate with Simon so much. And especially that scene where he just screams at Martin, and you hear the first F-bomb in the movie with "fuck off, Martin," because he says that, that was his thing. It's supposed to be his choice. He's supposed to be able to be the one to say who knows and when they know. and that was taken away from him by Martin. So I get the trauma of that.
Yeah, but that F-bomb should have been a fist bomb.
I mean, I definitely would have punched Martin.
Absolutely.
I thought
there
you were
was
going to
definitely
say
a
I was
moment
going to
where-
punch my sibling.
where,
Did you punch your sibling?
I have not. I have literally not seen them since I moved to Chicago.
Okay. Oh, yeah,
not
because, all right. that
physically
yeah.
seen them. Do not want to physically see them.
Because he's got 2 of these. I'm kidding. I do not speak for Corwyn.
He held up his fists, so everybody
James
knows.
held up-
No, people
James-
know when I say on my podcast when it's either middle fingers or fists. That
Cool.
if I say 2 of these, they can either works.
So,
2 of these.
yeah, I definitely would have punched Martin. There was definitely a time where it looked like Simon was about to throw down when the bullies
Definitely with the bullies, yeah.
were doing their dance for him and Ethan.
Yeah,
And Simon's like, "You got something to say to me?"
I know. And then Miss Albright's like,
Miss Albright's like, "I'm gonna fuck you up
gonna
with
do
my
it."
words."
Yeah.
She's like, "I got this."
Yeah.
Rolls up her sleeves. That's honestly watching the movie in theaters 3 times was worth it just for that specific scene.
Yeah.
With her going, "I got this.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get my tubes tied." Like she's so good. And James, when he saw this scene, he was like, they would get suspended for that. And then, like, she comes up and starts yelling, and he's like, she's going to get suspended for that.
And then they say, you can't talk to me like that.
And
she
she's
goes,
like, I can.
because I
And
just did.
yeah,
Because you're those 2 little shits.
Assholes.
the assholes. Yeah, She
Yeah,
does say
I don't
assholes.
think
Two
they can say
assholes.
shit on a PG-13.
Well,
Oh wait, really?
No, I'm
I
lying.
was like,
Actually, the
what are the rules anymore?
MPAA can do whatever they want.
True.
I did speeches in college about them because it's very frustrating.
Have you seen the Adam Ruins Everything about that too?
I have not, but
he brings light to that.
yeah, a lot.
A
And
lot.
I talked about it in my speeches too. I looked up a lot of it and just a lot of personal experience. Like I mentioned, while we were watching this movie, there's like a Taylor Lautner movie where he's practically having sex on screen with a girl, and that movie is still PG-13, but a gay couple can't kiss without it being bumped up to something. I mean, I'm glad this movie wasn't, but
A girl can die on her birthday many, many times, constantly getting murdered. PG-13.
It's very shitty.
It's
very
because
shitty.
the MPAA, it's the movies governing movies.
Yeah.
So if they want a movie to be more successful, hey, it would do better as a PG-13. Let's just slap that on it.
Yeah, that the scenes that resonate with me, that one, him yelling at Martin and the car scene, that's like such a quintessential like coming out scene. Like that's a thing. It happens to so many people.
Yeah.
I've come out to people in a car like that. It's always very awkward like that. And the movie just captured it so beautifully.
Yeah. I love that it just kind of came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
And he felt that it was right. He was like, Abby's the person I'm going to do this with right now, and I'm going to do it right now.
Right now.
All over this car.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what are some like thoughts and experiences you have with like the movie that resonate with you, Nina?
I mean, I really kind of love the first thing we hear out of Simon's mouth, that I'm just like you.
Yeah.
I think that in and of itself is like just a beautiful thing. I'm just like you. And he's a normal person. You know, he's not crazy. He's not, I don't know. I just love that he's just like us and he's gay, and that's okay. And I kind of throughout that movie, that keeps coming back to me. I'm just like you. I do love that.
Your notes. You got your
I know.
notes.
I got all these notes.
And you got notes from the book. Oh my God. You got
I
so
know.
many
I
notes.
think, I definitely think with the book, the movie seems to be a lot more romanticized than the book was.
Yes.
In a lot of different ways, actually, especially with the friends and Simon's relationship with them. And and definitely with Blue in it of itself. I think the book actually was a lot more romantic with them. There is a lot of sexual innuendo in their emails, which I kind of missed out on this in the movie. And I wish that they had gone there, but that probably would have bumped the rating up to MA or something. But I really kind of missed that and how they relate in that way. I do kind of love the little things that they bond over. I love their Oreos. Like Halloween Oreos are the best. So that kind of
Do they taste any different? Are they an orange flavor?
They're not orange flavor. They're
just
they're plain
Halloween.
Oreo flavor. They're just Halloween. They're orange.
Oreo, you got to step it up this year. You do red. Have you had the red velvet Oreos?
I have, but
Oh my
there's
God.
a difference
Oreo's
between the
out of
normal
control.
Oreos and the orange Oreos. There's a difference.
There is, and it's slight,
It's like you just.
but it's also the festivity.
Yeah.
Like knowing that they're Halloween.
And Nina loves Halloween.
I do. Come on now.
Yeah.
Come on
She
now.
has a jack-o'-lantern right by her.
Also, I love the soundtrack of this movie.
Yes,
It's definitely
really
like
good.
from the get-go. I love it. I listen to it often on my days, I'm on the train, just bebopping around.
Beautiful. I have like so many things. I wrote down so much just because like I could talk about this movie for days.
Yeah.
Like there's just so much. One thing that I do want to talk with you about is the friends, like the relationship between Simon and the friends and how that affects Martin blackmailing him.
Mm-hmm.
Like, okay, if someone was blackmailed and they were one of your good friends, one of your best friends in
Let's say
the
you.
area, me, I was being blackmailed, and the only thing the person wanted was to like have a chance to be in a relationship with you. And I'm not telling you, oh no, you should hook up with this guy.
Right.
I'm just being like, hey, let's hang out. Oh, also this person's here.
Yeah.
How would yeah.
So here's the thing. As when I'm reading the book, there's I actually wrote the friggin' page number, but on page number 261 in the book, Abby just tells Simon that you definitely get a pass when you're being blackmailed.
Yes.
And so I really missed that in the movie.
I know.
Because they just,
yeah.
I also just hate that they're in that little group and
Yeah.
they kind of just like come for him. And in
They
in the
do.
book, it's a little more, Abby she is mad at Simon and she's kind of like, hey, you can't really dictate who I see and who I date. And that's my choice. And then,
Yeah.
and it's kind of during the play. And she's like doing his makeup and she's like, and maybe tomorrow somebody else can do your makeup. I'm going to go this way. And so, she kind of gives him a little bit of a cold shoulder.
Yeah.
And that's, hey, that's a little more, a little better, I guess, than what happened in the movie where she's
Yeah.
like, what did you do? And then she comes back later at the carnival and is like, you know what? You get a pass for being blackmailed because that's not cool. Now we're friends.
And
And so
did she even know like right away when they're putting the makeup on that he was like blackmailed?
he's kind of telling her.
Yeah.
Well, because Martin told her to.
Yeah.
She's like, oh, so tell me about this Martin thing. And Simon's kind of like, oh, shit. Martin thing? How much did he tell you? And so she kind of knows in that point. But
yeah. I know that if I was ever in the situation and they were like good friend, like if I was in that exact situation and being blackmailed, I would be like, hey, Nina, I'm being blackmailed right now.
And then we would take care of it.
And
Probably
then
with
you'd be
these
like,
two things.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
these
saying?
two. I would be upfront about it. I know I don't know how it would be in high school though, like when I wasn't out and everything like that. I probably still would have told my best friend at the time, who's still my best friend now. I don't know why I say at the time, my friend Taylor. I probably would have told her, but at the same time, even if I didn't, I know that as soon as it was like, oh, he was being blackmailed, she would be like, all right, I'm going to fight this. I'm going to fight this person.
Totally. And I think too, because in the book as well, Nick is not a part of this. Simon doesn't really lie to Nick about Abby having a boyfriend. And so I kind of I'm kind of mad at the movie for doing that and making it such a dramatic.
And Nick's the one that like leads this little thing against him. He's like, come on, Leah, I'll bring you to school. And like, he's like, oh, why didn't you told me that she had a boyfriend and stuff. And it's like, you didn't date for like 3 months.
Yeah.
Like, it's just 3 months. Like, come on.
Yeah.
Like, him lying, okay, it's shitty that he lied, but he was also being blackmailed for it in such a way that he would have been outed to the whole school.
Yeah.
And how stigmatized that is, especially in America and everything like that. Like, he's definitely got justification for it. And James has said in the past something about people not apologizing, or that's not like a real apology and stuff. And in this movie, we just see Simon apologize to Leah, but Abby, Nick, Leah, none of them apologize to Simon.
Right.
I mean, they were trying to be there for him whenever he got outed, which also I'm like, y'all live down the street from him. Why didn't you just go to his house? And like, we're here. You're not avoiding us. You're not doing all of that. We are here and we're here for you.
I have two things. One's a joke. In the beginning, since they all live close to each other, just meet in one spot. Don't go into each other's driveways to pick them up. But also,
obviously they can because they met on that corner.
Yes. And Martin's blackmail is fucked up because he said, hey, I just want your help to try and get a date with her. It was never in the stipulations that she needed to date him.
Yeah.
He tried, and that's all he could do. He couldn't force her to date him. So why did he out him? Because of the humiliation.
Because he got humiliated.
Yeah,
he wanted to
fuck that kid.
To, pass it off on someone else. So he did it on Simon. And then he was like, oh, I feel bad because I didn't think they would do that. I'm not aware of situations. I'm not aware of how people shitty can be. I'm not aware that, Ethan gets bullied all the time. But Ethan, takes it in stride and snaps back at them. So I wasn't aware because I'm an idiot. That's Martin.
Yeah, and I know
he's the worst.
And I know in the book too. I know. I'm sorry. I keep talking about the book, but
do it.
Martin also has an older brother in the book who is gay.
Oh yeah,
and so that's a little bit more present where the Waffle House guy is actually Martin's brother.
Okay.
And so Martin ends up writing an email to Simon and is like, "Hey man, I'm so sorry I did this. I can't find the page right now, but he kind of says like." My brother had just come out at home and it kind of caused a little bit of a stir in my home. And even though my family was very, okay with it, we ended up marching in the Pride Parade and we did all these things. And my brother just kind of wasn't excited that we did all these things. And so he was like, I was kind of trying to deal with how that happened and, and how my family was dealing with that. And then he was like, and then there's, another paragraph where he goes on about how just like how desperate he was to date Abby and and he's like, I'm so sorry I did this, but this is kind of my reasoning behind it and I know that you'll never forgive me and that's not what I want, but I just want to say I'm sorry. And so I know that that's something that kind of motivated Martin's what he did in the book.
Yeah, which is still shitty. Don't blackmail people.
Yeah, also very shitty. Don't do it. But I know that there's a little more reasoning behind it in the book rather than the movie. So
yeah. Watching this movie, I'm always so mad at the friends because they don't yes, there's that surface level of them trying to support him and texting him and stuff, but they've known each other. Abby and Leah have known Simon for, or no, not Abby. Leah and Nick have known Simon for 13 years, and Abby's known him for 6 months, but she was the only one that knew he was gay. But they have known him for 13 years. And they're not going to go to his house. It's over Christmas break.
Totally. Or go see the parents and be like, hey, Jennifer Garner and Josh
I need to talk to Simon. I know he doesn't really probably want to talk to anybody right now, but I need to talk to him.
Yeah.
It's just, there's just something there, knowing someone that long, being supportive of them.
Absolutely. And reaching out even though that's not maybe what they want, but but still at least checking in, I think is...
Yeah, and he avoided them and stuff, but they don't do that. And as soon as they're like, "Oh, you stopped us from dating," they're like, they turn against him, and then they don't apologize for that. And it's like he went through so much shit. He went through a lot of traumatizing things, in quick succession, and then you're gonna add on to that pile by just abandoning him.
Yeah.
And
or making him feel shitty,
making him feel shitty, which he did do something wrong in lying, but you're making him feel worse. And on top of that, he's in a vulnerable state. And then he also has lost this guy that he was talking to that he thought he was in love with. And the only time that Leah acknowledges that
he was in love with.
Yeah. The only time that Leah acknowledges that is when he finally runs up to her and stuff. But she's not like, I'm so sorry for abandoning you while you were feeling like this. It was just, okay, tell me about him. No, say you're sorry.
Yeah.
All of them needed to apologize. They didn't.
Absolutely.
I do love Abby, and I like her in the books too.
Yeah.
And I like her in the movie a lot. But that one always rubbed me the wrong way because I'm like, I know all of my friends, and if I was in a situation like that, I know that they wouldn't react in the same way.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, I would have just been pissed that they didn't tell me about the blackmail.
Yeah,
so
I'd been like,
right.
I'm mad you didn't tell me about the blackmail. I'm sorry that you had to deal with that. If you told me about the blackmail, I could have helped you.
Yeah, because then I could have either gone along with the blackmail to the point where it seems satisfied and then end things to really make sure the blackmail works.
Yeah.
And because especially with Martin would have fucked up if he had told Abby is her name, Abby would have dated Martin, and after a week he would have done one real like, oh, this needs to end right away.
I like
and
that
then
you're
it's
giving
like,
him the week.
Yeah.
Not even date him, just take his phone, be like, oh, hi, thanks, Martin. Take his phone, delete the emails, and be like, oh, so you think you're going to blackmail my
That would have
friend?
been good. That would have been great.
Think you're going to blackmail my friend? My old school, this got settled with a knife fight. Guess what? Got a knife. Gonna settle it.
Like a butterfly knife. Don't know why those are
You're
legal.
going to say a butter knife? I was like, wow, badass.
I'm going to carve your heart out with a spoon, Martin. That's what you deserve. It's going to hurt. Rusty spoon.
Ooh, like salad fingers.
Oh, God.
Oh, boy.
Yes, exactly. Salad. Carve your heart out with wooden salad fingers.
Oh, no, I was saying Salad Fingers likes to put his salad fingers on rusty spoons.
I don't know what salad fingers
Oh, it
is.
was a Newgrounds cartoon.
Oh, that's weird.
You don't.
You guys seemed like you knew what you do.
I know what it is. But if he doesn't, it's okay. That's all right.
It's pretty creepy.
And a quick succession of notes. He doesn't ever eat breakfast. That's very relevant to my life. I never eat breakfast when it's breakfast time. I love breakfast foods. It's always hours after breakfast that I eat them. His like flirting with the guy. I like your boots.
I like your boots.
What? Okay, bye. So funny. His car, I could smell that car because like, you know, those old cars with that that seating and that vine.
Yep.
It's just, you're like, I know what that is.
And
I know
actually,
what that
in the
like.
books, Leah's car, his car, or not, Leah's car, his car, and I think somebody else's car has like a distinct smell. And so it's like,
You're like that. I when you see that, it's such a visceral like smell from my childhood. I'm like, I know what that car smells like. It smells like old French fries.
Totally.
Too many kids were outside in the beginning of the movie, like outside of the school. Like, who goes to school and there's like a bunch of kids out there? Never. How early is their school day? Because, you know, I had to go to school and be there at 7 a.m.
Yeah.
Ain't nobody out there at 7 a.m.
Well, and I think this is like definitely going back to like the like movie, you know, the movie versus real life of like parties and school where everybody's
Got time
hanging
to go
out.
and get an iced coffee. I did have that because there was a Starbucks on the way to my school.
Right. But that's it.
Yeah.
Oh, and did you guys watch bad 90s movies and gorge on carbs?
I gorged on carbs. I was very chubby.
For sure.
Still a little chubby. Yeah, love my carbs. And no, I didn't really binge bad 90s movies. I mostly played video games because I moved a lot and didn't really like... I lost my close neighbors once I hit like middle school. So I moved too often. I didn't get to like establish those like relationships very much. And then when I was in high school, or middle school and then beginning of high school, the guy that lived across the street from me was also in our school, but he was a dick. So I hung out with him for a little while and then I'm like, nah, you're a dick. So I stopped. So I didn't have those like relationships to be able to be like, oh, we're going to gorge on carbs and watch 90s movies until like later in high school. And then I lived too far away at that point. It just wasn't a thing.
You were like, my best friends Kirby and Mario, they're going to hang out with me all night.
No, I was like, my best friends are on the internet.
Oh, yeah. Oh, you played online games?
I played online games and then I also just had friends. Yeah, friends from the online games. So I also, that feeling when Simon first writes the email where he's like, he gets up and he's like, oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, I've definitely had those because some of the first people that I came out to were online. So it was like,
absolutely,
you know, that one moment where you have to rev yourself up, you pace so that you can finally like type that saying that I'm gay and then send it. And then like the dread of like waiting for them to say something.
Absolutely.
And like you can't see them. So you're just like, are they ever going to talk to me again?
Totally. And I feel like that's like what modern day communication is. I feel like with texting, you text somebody and you're waiting and waiting and waiting.
Yeah.
But now you can see the ellipses.
So
at least we have that.
At least I know they're thinking about it.
Back in those AIM days, you couldn't see those ellipses.
And that's why I think I did make a note that I think it's just very courageous of him that like, he did this, set up the email, went through with it, press send. Like, hey, that takes a lot of courage. And, you know, even if he doesn't know who's on the other end,
Yeah.
It took a lot for him to do.
Here's what you could have done back then. You could have found their email, created like a MySpace thing in order to phish them, and then you put a keylogger, a virus, if you will, onto their computer so you can see in live time what they're typing. So then you would know
That's
when
creepy,
they're typing.
James. I was nice and not creepy.
Everyone wants to do it, guys. It's Corwin.
I was
what
like,
he's
I don't
saying
know
is,
how.
I totally yes. That's
know
what I was just about to say.
No, I can look up some nice tutorials on that, but I'm not going to do that.
I had friends who did phish for MySpace passwords.
Oh my
They
God.
had one of their coding friends make
That's
a
desperate.
fake MySpace
Desperate.
page, but it was just so they could fuck around and like change captions on pictures.
Or change like backgrounds on MySpace.
Yeah, to just it was never a malicious thing. It was just like they'd be like, "Oh man, love Dave Mustaine from Megadeth." That would be a caption of. It was just weird bullshit like that.
Cool.
I have other notes. The vice principal, kind of annoying, but whatever.
Yeah. I like
he
that they
did-
were all nice people. But,
Yeah,
like,
he
you know.
in the beginning he's like taking people's phones and he misses like 6 of them.
I know,
He
right?
just like misses them and then he takes Simon's phone later. I'm like, what? He did after Simon was outed the next day. He was wearing a rainbow pen, but then he opened his mouth and started talking. You're like, God damn it!
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why can't you just shut up? Be supportive. Because he talks to Simon. He's like, when I said I see a lot of myself in you, it wasn't like that, Simon. It wasn't like that. Ha. It's like, shut up. Just don't say anything. Just be
Right.
like, hey,
I would have said,
hope you're
"Yeah,
good."
dude, you have made it clear you love to smash, okay?"
my
Seriously
God.
though.
I have written on my page that Martin's the worst like 6 times.
Because he is.
Those moments where like people talk about other people being gay around you when like you're not out. It's just like, Simon and his dad talking about the Bachelor, the guy on the Bachelor
Yeah.
being gay.
Yeah, I definitely
it's
wrote
like-
down like dad's insensitivities, but also
Yeah.
not really knowing, but also just like being aware. Like,
Yeah.
yo, dad, some of these things.
Though I did love the dad. He was very
Of
in
course.
touch with his feelings and very, very attractive.
Duh.
Oh my God.
Who is it? That's not Timothy Oliphant, is it?
No, it's Josh
Duhamel.
Duhamel.
Okay,
I don't
they
know
look
if that's
very
alike.
similar to Timothy
Yeah.
Oliphant. He's the one that's on Santa Clarita Diet
Yeah.
with Drew Barrymore.
Yep.
Yeah. Simon is a Hufflepuff.
He is.
Nina's a Ravenclaw. Mm-hmm. What are
I
you?
have no idea.
Oh my God.
What?
Find out soon what James is.
You mean you don't know what you are?
No.
What do listeners think
Once
he is?
again,
We're-
flabbergasted.
Wait, what are
Flabbergasted.
you, Corwin?
I'm a Hufflepuff.
Oh,
Yeah.
twinsies.
Like Simon Spears,
Wait,
Hufflepuff.
where is it a quick thing to do?
You can do. You can't
Oh,
do it on this
gosh.
podcast, but you can do it on the Pottermore website.
Okay.
Which I think
Yeah.
now is actually Wizarding World something something. I just got an
Maybe.
email that they
I don't
changed it
know.
all. Anyway,
You can do it. Lots
Or
of quizzes
BuzzFeed
out
has
there.
a quiz.
Yeah, BuzzFeed has a real good quiz. I laughed that Simon ran to the bathroom to check his phone. Definitely had those moments where I'm like talking to someone and I have to go in private to check my phone to see if they've messaged back.
Absolutely.
That anxiety
Same.
gets
That was
to you.
me and Nicole when we started talking online.
I also wrote Miss Albright's the best because she honestly is the best. Gotta get my tubes tied. Why doesn't Simon take them home
I don't
from
know.
school? He brings them to school. Why doesn't he take them home? At least Abby, because they
Well, don't
have.
they have?
Abby has rehearsal,
But Abby doesn't like.
Leah and Nick don't. I guess Nick has soccer practice, maybe.
Girl, I don't know.
Yeah, I'm like, why doesn't he take them home? Why doesn't he at least take Abby home? They get out of rehearsal together. Harry Potter dreams definitely have had some Daniel Radcliffe dreams. Garrett is also hilarious. He's the tall friend that doesn't really like. No one talks to him that much, but he's Bram's friend. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he
the whole
plays
thing.
soccer
I
with
fucking
all his
love
guys.
him.
Yeah.
His Olympic Halloween costume. I'm like, oh,
Just with those Speedos. I'm
Just
like,
with
oh,
the Speedo. And then there's the, like, when he's inviting people to the party, he's like, hey, little guy. I love him.
I thought you were talking about the tall kid.
I'm not talking about Suresh. I'm talking
Okay.
about the other guy. And spray paints for Peyton. not huffing. You don't want to get good at that. Beautiful line. Oh, Leah and Abby's interactions confuse me in the movie because she's got a very Leah has a very queer vibe around her Abby interactions. So I could definitely see Simon being confused and thinking Leah is in love with someone else. Definitely not him. I would have thought Abby because when she comes in with the Wonder Woman costume, Leah just there's a moment where she sort of almost bites her lip and she's like, ooh.
I took that as her either wishing I wish I could be that attractive to turn heads, or oh, I hope Simon isn't looking at her.
I took that as that's turning my head.
I took it as a little she was slut shaming.
Yeah,
that's how I took it.
And I think that's
but biting your lip is sort of a sexual move, though. So there's a moment where she,
or it could be you're not pulling that off.
No, it wasn't like that. Just watch her in the movie.
Was she jeez.
Anytime Abby,
definitely not that.
anytime Abby and Leah interact, or you see that interaction, you're like, huh. And actually, when I saw the movie, I was like, I can't really remember the book. I don't think that Leah is
Leah is jealous of Abby in the book.
Yeah, I know that. And when I watched the movie, I couldn't remember that. And I was like, wait, are they going to make Leah bisexual in this? I was legit confused.
I took it as more jealousy than, I never took it as, ooh, I'm getting saucy.
I also love drunk karaoke. I don't know why Bram is making out with a sexy minion. Doesn't make sense. Martin puking and being whiny and apologizing. I've definitely had people at parties like that. And they're always the person that no one likes. That is like that. It sucks.
I was the sober kid no one liked.
And another thing with Leah, the queer stuff, I was whenever she's talking about, she's like, do you ever feel weird you're always on the outside? I'm like, that's how I felt in high school.
Right.
And that was a gay thing. Yeah, it was confusing. And there's just so many things. Watch the movie. It's so good. It's so good. There's probably way more that I want to mention that I just don't remember and can't find in my notes. So
I do have one more thing.
Do it.
I made a point of writing this down of that moment when Simon asks, why do only gay people have to come out? I really love that. And the idea of coming out as straight and that
Hilarious.
whole scene, with the different families and the mom,
you get that from your daddy's
right.
side.
I love that. I love that idea. And the book also keeps questioning too, why is white and straight the default?
Yeah.
Why is that always the default? And so I really love that scene of I think, everybody should come out no matter what. I'm like, Mom, I'm straight. Mom, I thought that was really funny. And the way that they did it. Yeah, just to have that opposite of what Simon is kind of going through.
Yeah, that's I think the movie did that really well. It was a beautiful moment. This movie also has a lot of diversity in it comparatively to our other ones. Could always use more.
Represented.
Stamped.
Could always use more. But had a lot, which was nice.
And I like that Ethan was African American and gay, and I thought that was very beautiful.
Very beautiful.
I love him.
It's a very beautiful movie. I love him talking about those carrots and hummus. All right. Yeah. So Nina, obviously, yes, you would recommend this movie? ?
Yeah. Absolutely. I have.
Yes to me.
Yes to you. Okay. I'm going to say yes too, and we got to get out of here.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much for listening.
Wait.
And my plug is for Sawbucks Theater Collective. That's the theater company that I'm in. I'm in the show Macbeth this year. Come see it. You can get tickets online. Even if you can't come see it, buy tickets. Just, buy tickets. It's a not-for-profit. It's great.
There you go.
So, come support us. All of that. Links will be in the description, per usual, because James is great at doing that. Thank you, James, for doing links.
Copy-paste, baby.
Follow us at This Movie's Gay on Twitter and social media and stuff. Also, follow me on social media, at Corwinning. Do you have anything you would like to plug?
Social
I'm
media,
good.
Twitter.
I'm
Nina
not
is
on
good.
that.
Okay.
Nina is good.
Hey guys, first thing, thank you very much to Steve F at Hit People Guy for donating $20 for us to get an AC unit for the studio area.
Yay!
And guys, May 30th, it's Thursday. My new CD, King Kaiser X, it's out. It will be on mlmpod.com/Marshland Monster. But if you want to check out my podcasts, such as Mostly Speaking Sentai, I'll Get There, or What the Hellmouth, go to mlmpod.com and you can find links or just search those wherever you're listening to this. Check them out, and that's all I've got. I've been James.
I've been Corwyn.
I've been Nina.
Yeah.
Bye. I wanted you to go first because other times you will say, James, I don't know where you're starting.
Thanks.
Bye. This has been a Marshland Media production, produced by James McCullum. For more content, please visit mlmpod.com. To support our network and have access to exclusive podcasts, head over to patreon.com/mlmpod and sign up today.